What if I told you that your body is aging faster than it should be? That the food industry and big pharmaceutical companies have been actively suppressing information about ancient, natural foods that could dramatically slow down and even reverse the aging process? I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to share, because this information is constantly being removed from the internet. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets taken down within days. If you're over 35, you've already begun to feel it. The unexplained fatigue, the foggy thinking, the aches in your joints that weren't there before. What if I told you this isn't normal aging? What if it's the result of a modern diet deliberately designed to keep you dependent on expensive medications and anti-aging products? Before we dive in, take a second right now to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our groundbreaking health revelations. And if you're serious about reclaiming your youth and vitality, make sure you like this video so more people can discover this life-changing information. Let me ask you a question I want you to answer in the comments below. How old do you feel compared to your actual age? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. For thousands of years, ancient civilizations across the globe lived with remarkable longevity and vitality well into what we now consider old age. They didn't have fancy creams, expensive supplements, or pharmaceutical interventions. What they did have was access to 7 specific foods. Foods that modern research is now confirming contain powerful compounds that directly influence your body's aging process at the cellular level. These 7 ancient foods contain specific compounds that activate what scientists call longevity pathways in your cells. The same pathways targeted by cutting-edge anti-aging drugs currently in development. But here's what the pharmaceutical industry does and want you to know. These natural foods can deliver many of the same benefits without the side effects or the astronomical price tags. Let me be absolutely clear. What I'm about to share is some miracle cure or quick fix. This is legitimate, scientific information about specific foods with compounds proven to influence the fundamental mechanisms of cellular aging. These foods have been consumed for millennia, but their true power has been systematically downplayed in favor of patentable, profitable medications. Let us dive into these 7 remarkable ancient foods that scientists are now discovering may actually help reverse aspects of the aging process. Food number 1. Fermented treasures. The first ancient anti-aging powerhouse is untamed single food, but a preparation method dating back over 10,000 years. Fermented foods were humanity's original preservation technique, but we're now discovering they're far more than just a way to keep food from spoiling. When foods like cabbage, milk, soybeans, or tea undergo fermentation, something remarkable happens. Beneficial microorganisms create a complex ecosystem that produces unique compounds found nowhere else in nature. These compounds directly influence what scientists now call the gut-brain axis, the critical communication pathway between your digestive system and your brain. Recent breakthrough research from universities in South Korea and Japan has identified specific bacterial strains in traditional fermented foods that produce compounds called postbiotics. These postbiotics have been shown to dramatically reduce inflammatory markers associated with aging, improve cognitive function, and even influence telomere length, the protective caps on your DNA that shorten as you age. One study published just last year found that regular consumption of traditional kimchi, not the pasteurized version you find in most stores, increased the production of a compound called spermidine by over 40% in participants. Spermidine is so powerful in activating cellular cleaning mechanisms that pharmaceutical companies are currently racing to patent synthetic versions. Traditional fermented foods like raw sauerkraut, authentic kimchi, properly prepared tempeh, and kombucha contain living, bacterial cultures that colonize your gut and begin producing these youth-preserving compounds within days of regular consumption. The problem? Mass-produced fermented foods undergo pasteurization, which destroys the very microorganisms responsible for these benefits. The food industry knows that unpasteurized, traditional fermented foods have a limited shelf life and limited profit potential. If you're serious about reclaiming your youth, I want you to comment below with the word fermented. So, I know you recommitted to incorporating these powerful foods into your diet. Food number 2. The forgotten purple grain. The second ancient food that's been systematically erased from our food supply is one UVA probably never heard of: purple barley. Unlike the pale, processed barley occasionally found in soups today, ancient purple barley was a staple grain across North Africa, parts of Europe, and throughout the Middle East for thousands of years. Its deep purple color comes from an extraordinary concentration of anthocyanins, the same compounds found in blueberries, but in concentrations up to 8 times higher. These anthocyanins don't just give the grain its distinctive color. They directly activate a cellular pathway called AMPK, which regulates energy metabolism and is considered one of the master switches of the aging process. Pharmaceutical companies are investing billions in developing drugs that target this same pathway, while this ancient grain has been doing it naturally for millennia. Even more remarkable is purple barley's effect on senescent cells, what scientists now call zombie cells that accumulate as we age. These cells stop functioning properly, but refuse to die. A 2022 study from the University of Copenhagen found that specific compounds in purple barley triggered these zombie cells to self-destruct in laboratory tests, essentially clearing out the cellular deadwood that accelerates aging. Why did this remarkable grain nearly disappear from our food supply? Simple. It couldn't be mass-produced as efficiently as modern wheat varieties. It requires specific growing conditions and resists the heavy pesticide applications needed for industrial farming. In other words, it wasn't profitable enough. Fortunately, small-scale farmers are beginning to grow this remarkable grain again. If you're serious about incorporating this age-reversing food into your diet, comment below with purple so I can gauge interest in a detailed guide on where to find these rare but powerful foods. Food number 3. The misunderstood mushroom. The third ancient food that has been systematically marginalized in Western diets is actually a category of specific medicinal mushrooms that have been revered in traditional Chinese and Japanese medicine for over 4,000 years. I'm not talking about the button mushrooms you find in grocery stores. I'm referring to specific varieties like reishi, lion's mane, chaga, gan, cordyceps. Fungi that contain compounds so powerful that modern pharmaceutical companies are attempting to isolate, patent, and synthesize their active components. These mushrooms contain complex polysaccharides, called beta-glucans, that have been shown to dramatically enhance immune system function. But their most remarkable property relates to neurological aging. Lion's mane mushroom, for instance, contains compounds that stimulate the production of nerve growth factor, a protein essential for the maintenance and regeneration of neurons. In a groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Neurochemistry, researchers found that regular consumption of lion's mane extract actually stimulated the regeneration of neural pathways, essentially helping the brain create new connections and repair damaged ones. Participants showed measurable improvements in cognitive function within just 16 weeks. Reishi mushroom, known as the mushroom of immortality in ancient texts, contains triterpenes that have been shown to reduce cortisol levels and combat the oxidative stress that accelerates cellular aging. One long-term study found that regular reishi consumption reduced biological markers of aging by up to 22% compared to control groups. So why aren't these powerful mushrooms part of mainstream dietary recommendations? Unlike pharmaceutical interventions, these mushrooms cannot be patented. Their complex, synergistic compounds work together in ways that isolated, synthetic versions simply cannot replicate, making them a threat to profitable drug development. If you're committed to exploring the age-reversing benefits of these ancient medicinal mushrooms, Comment mushroom below and I'll know to create more detailed content on sourcing and preparing these powerful foods. Food number 4. The forgotten bitter greens. The fourth category of ancient longevity foods has been systematically bred out of our modern diet. Truly bitter greens. Our ancestors across every continent consumed wild, bitter leafy greens daily. Plants like dandelion, chicory, endive, purslane, and amaranth leaves. These forgotten greens contain compounds called sesquiterpene lactones that trigger a remarkable cascade of cellular protective mechanisms. When you consume these bitter compounds, they activate the body's NRF2 pathway, the master regulator of antioxidant production and cellular stress response. This activation essentially acts as a hormetic stressor, a beneficial type of mild stress that strengthens cellular resilience, similar to how exercise stresses your muscles in ways that ultimately make them stronger. Modern research has confirmed that regular activation of the NRF2 pathway through bitter compound consumption can dramatically improve cellular stress resistance and longevity. One particularly striking study from the University of Kiel in Germany found that regular consumption of traditional bitter greens increased glutathione production, your body's master antioxidant, by up to 58% compared to control groups. Participants showed measurable reductions in markers of oxidative damage and inflammation, with the most pronounced benefits in those over 50 years old. Why have these powerful greens disappeared from our plates? The answer is simply palatability and profit. Food manufacturers have systematically bred bitterness out of our vegetables to appeal to modern preferences for sweetness. Wild bitter greens also resist large-scale cultivation and have shorter shelf lives, making them commercially impractical, despite the remarkable health benefits. If you're serious about reclaiming your vitality, I encourage you to seek out these forgotten bitter greens at farmers, markets, or even in your own yard. Many grow wild and are considered weeds despite their powerful longevity benefits. Comment bitter below if you're committed to bringing these age-defying greens back into your diet. Food number 5. The sacred seed. The fifth ancient anti-aging food is one that was once considered sacred across South America and parts of Asia. The black seed of the Nigella sativa plant. This remarkable seed contains a compound called thymoquinone that directly influences cellular aging pathways. Modern research has confirmed what ancient healers somehow knew. This compound activates SIRT1 gene expression, a key longevity pathway that pharmaceutical companies are targeting with drugs currently in development. In 2021, researchers at the Buck Institute for Research on Aging made a groundbreaking discovery. Thymoquinone from black seed dramatically improved mitochondrial function in aging cells. Since mitochondria are your cell's power plants, this essentially means more cellular energy, improved tissue function, and reversal of key aspects of cellular aging. Even more remarkably, black seed oil has been shown to influence DNA methylation patterns, essentially affecting which genes are turned on or off as we age. This epigenetic influence means it can actually help reverse specific aspects of age-related genetic expression. Archaeological evidence shows black seeds were placed in the tombs of Egyptian pharaohs, including King Tutankhamun, highlighting their immense value in ancient times. Yet today, this powerful anti-aging food remains virtually unknown in Western diets. Why? Black seed lacks the commercial appeal of colorful superfoods and doesn't lend itself to flashy marketing campaigns. It's also primarily grown in regions like Turkey, Syria, India, outside the influence of major Western agricultural corporations. If you're committed to exploring the age-reversing benefits of this ancient sacred seed, comment black seed below. So, I know you're serious about incorporating this powerful food into your longevity regimen. Food number 6. The ocean's secret. The sixth ancient anti-aging food comes from our oceans and was a staple in the diets of coastal populations worldwide. Specific seaweeds like dulse, nori, wakame, and kombu. These remarkable sea vegetables contain compounds found nowhere else in the food supply, including fucoidan, alginate, and astaxanthin. Modern research has confirmed these compounds directly influence cellular aging through multiple pathways. Fucoidan, found primarily in brown seaweeds like wakame and kombu, has been shown to activate autophagy, your cell's internal cleaning and recycling system that declines with age. When this system functions optimally, damaged cellular components are cleared away and recycled, essentially rejuvenating the cell from within. A 2023 study published in the journal Aging found that regular seaweed consumption was associated with significantly longer telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA that shorten with age. Participants who consumed seaweed at least twice weekly had telomeres that appeared biologically 7.7 years younger than their chronological age would predict. Perhaps most remarkably, specific compounds in red seaweeds like dulls have been shown to protect against glycation, the damaging process where sugar molecules attach to proteins and fats, creating harmful advanced glycation end products that accelerate aging. One study found that regular dulse consumption reduced age formation by up to 40% compared to control groups. Despite these remarkable benefits, seaweed remains marginalized in Western diets. The powerful compounds in seaweed cannot be patented, and the seaweed industry lacks the lobbying power and marketing budgets of pharmaceutical giants. If you're committed to exploring the age-reversing benefits of seaweed, comment seaweed below, and I'll create detailed content on the specific varieties and preparation methods that maximize these longevity benefits. Food number 7, the golden spice, the seventh, and perhaps most powerful ancient anti-aging food, is one that has been used medicinally for over 4,000 years. Turmeric, root, court, particularly its active compound curcumin. C. Modern science is only beginning to understand what ancient Ayurvedic healers somehow knew. This golden spice directly influences multiple aging pathways simultaneously. It's one of the few natural substances that has been shown to be genuinely pleiotropic, meaning it has beneficial effects through multiple independent mechanisms. Curcumin's most remarkable property is its ability to influence the NF-κB pathway, essentially the master regulator of inflammation in your body. Chronic inflammation is now recognized as the primary driver of aging, influencing everything from heart disease and cognitive decline to joint deterioration and skin aging. A landmark 2018 study published in the journal Aging Cell found that curcumin supplementation reduced inflammatory markers in older adults, 2 levels comparable to those of people decades younger. Even more remarkably, tissue samples from these participants showed patterns of gene expression that more closely resembled those of younger adults. Beyond inflammation, curcumin has been shown to influence telomere length, enhance mitochondrial function, activate cellular cleaning mechanisms, and even influence stem cell function, essentially supporting your body's ability to regenerate tissues that typically decline with age. The pharmaceutical industry is well aware of these benefits, with multiple companies attempting to create synthetic analogs of curcumin that can be patented and sold at premium prices. The natural compound, however, works through complex synergistic mechanisms that isolated synthetic versions have consistently failed to replicate. One critical fact most people do and realize: turmeric must be combined with specific companion ingredients to be properly absorbed. Without black pepper extract or a healthy fat, curcumin passes through your digestive system largely unutilized. If you're serious about incorporating this powerful age-reversing spice into your daily regimen, comment golden below, and I'll know you're committed to exploring these ancient foods further. The truth about why these foods have been suppressed? Now that I've shared these 7 remarkable ancient foods, you might be wondering, if these foods are so powerful, why haven't we heard more about them? Why aren't doctors recommending them as first-line interventions for ag-related concerns? The answer is both simple and disturbing. These foods represent a fundamental threat to a pharmaceutical and healthcare industry built around treating symptoms rather than addressing root causes. Consider these facts. The global anti-aging market is projected to reach $421.4 billion by 2030. The average American over 65 takes 4 to 5 prescription medications daily. Not a single one of these ancient foods can be patented or exclusively owned. When scientists discover beneficial compounds in these foods, the research typically follows a predictable pattern. Companies attempt to isolate, synthesize, and slightly modify these compounds to create patentable drugs. The natural, whole food sources, which often work through complex synergistic mechanisms, are systematically downplayed or dismissed as unproven, despite thousands of years of traditional use and mounting scientific evidence. Think about this. If a simple food like black seed could significantly improve metabolic markers and reduce inflammation, what would happen to the billions spent annually on diabetes medications and anti-inflammatory drugs? If fermented foods could dramatically improve gut health and immune function, how would that affect the massive probiotic supplement industry? I'm not suggesting a grand conspiracy. Rather, a system fundamentally designed to prioritize profitable interventions over natural solutions that cannot be exclusively owned. Medical research follows funding, and there's simply more financial incentive to develop patentable drugs than to study traditional foods. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing this information. These foods represent a return to wisdom our ancestors somehow understood intuitively, that specific natural foods contain compounds that support the body's innate ability to maintain health and vitality as we age. Before I share how to properly incorporate these foods into your diet for maximum benefit, I need to know you're committed. If you've stayed with me this far, take a moment right now to like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. The algorithms consistently suppress this type of content, and your engagement is the only way we can ensure this information reaches those who need it most. How to incorporate these ancient foods for maximum benefit? If you're serious about exploring the adrivising benefits of these ancient foods, here's what you need to know about incorporating them effectively. Fermented foods. Aim for daily consumption of traditionally prepared, unpasteurized fermented foods. Start with just 1 to 2 tablespoons daily, and gradually increase to 1/4 cup with meals. Look for products that say raw, unpasteurized, or contains live cultures, or, better yet, learn to make your own. Purple barley. Replace refined grains with this ancient variety 3 to 4 times weekly. It can be prepared similar to rice or traditional barley, but requires a slightly longer cooking time. Look for it at specialty health food stores or online suppliers that focus on heritage grains. Medicinal mushrooms. These can be consumed as teas, broths, or powders added to coffee or smoothies. Aim for 3 to 5 servings weekly, cycling between varieties for complementary benefits. Always ensure your source is certified organic, as mushrooms readily absorb environmental toxins. Bitter greens. Incorporate truly bitter greens into your diet daily, ideally as the first food consumed at a meal to maximize digestive benefits. Start with just a few leaves if the taste is challenging, gradually increasing as your palate adjusts. Black seed. The therapeutic dose studied in research is typically 1 to 2 teaspoons of cold-pressed oil daily, or 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground seeds. The oil can be consumed straight or added to beverages, while the ground seeds can be sprinkled on meals. Seaweed. Aim for 2 to 3 servings weekly of varied types. Nori can be used for wraps, wakame and kombu add richness to broths and beans, while dulse can be used as a savory snack or flavor enhancer. Always ensure your source is tested for heavy metals and harvested from clean waters. Turmeric. To maximize bioavailability, consume 1/2 to 1 teaspoon daily combined with a pinch of black pepper and a source of healthy fat. Golden milk is a traditional preparation that maximizes absorption. The key to experiencing benefits is consistency over time and combining these foods rather than focusing on just one. These foods work through complementary mechanisms to address multiple aspects of cellular aging simultaneously. The most important step you can take now, if you're serious about exploring these ancient foods, I've created a comprehensive guide that goes much deeper than I could in this video. It includes specific sourcing recommendations for each food, traditional preparation methods that maximize bioavailability, sample meal plans, incorporating all 7 foods' potential interactions with medications to be aware of scientific references for those who want to explore the research. To access this guide, click the link appearing on your screen now. I've also included information on the 3 critical nutrients most depleted in our modern food supply that accelerate the aging process when deficient. If this video resonated with you, please help spread this information by sharing it with someone you care about. Knowledge is power only when acted upon and shared. And remember, don't expect overnight miracles. These foods work by supporting your body's natural regenerative capacities, which takes time. Commit to incorporating them consistently for at least 90 days, and pay attention to subtle shifts in energy, mental clarity, and overall vitality. Finally, I'd love to hear your experiences. One last time, drop a comment below sharing which of these 7 foods you're most excited to explore. Or share your experiences if you're already incorporating some of them. Personally read every comment and use your feedback to create future content. Thank you for your attention and commitment to reclaiming your health wisdom that rightfully belongs to all of us. For more life-changing health information, be sure to check out the video appearing on your screen now. Your journey to renewed vitality begins with a single step. And that step is as simple as reconnecting with the ancient foods our bodies evolved to thrive on.